Hi guys, this is Aaron Shell here, and I'm bringing you some cube draft for today. Here we're doing the Swiss cube, and I'm just letting you guys know I'm actually recording this commentary after the fact, so forgive me if I'm a little slow. This first pack isn't very strong. There's some good cards like Thundermaw, Hellkite. I actually like Looter Ilkor. It's pretty strong in the control deck, but there's just no bombs really that makes us want to go into any single color. So when in doubt, I usually go bombs, removal, mana fixing, and then I guess utility guys and stuff like that. So I believe I picked the Maelstrom Pulse here. There are arguments for either the Mirror Battlesphere and try to be a ramp deck, or maybe the Thundermaw Hellkite and just go try to be red. But I just think Maelstrom Pulse is a strong card. Although it does make us have a lot of color commitments, the power levels there. It's good against tokens, and it leaves our options open because we can splash it. And especially with Cube, there is a lot more mana fixing, so it's more likely that we'll be able to cast it even if it's just a splash. So I believe I just picked that up. Alright, this pack, there aren't so many good things. Like, there's no good stuff to follow up our pick, if that makes sense, because we're looking to try to get into an archetype here. Because the cube drafting, especially Magic Online Cube, is very much archetype dependent, and we have yet to really select an archetype. We could try to go ramp, which is what I believe we're gonna do, and instead of but we do just pick up removal. As I said, removal is good, and definitely picking up a removal that we can splash is very good. Now, notable picks here. There's a Demonic Tutor, which I pick very highly because it just gives you a lot of good redundancy. It's whatever you need, whenever you want it. But I could see an argument for Terastodon and trying to really force the ramp deck. Here, there's a couple of choices. Terminus is definitely a choice. Board wipes are good. I think it does go with our Journey to Nowhere pick. But Avenger is just such a good card, I think you have to pick it almost every time. So now we're really trying to go more for the ramp because Avenger is definitely a ramp card. So we're kind of looking at green, black, ramp, splash white right now. And now this pack is actually pretty interesting because Angel of Serenity is very good. It's the modern state, the modern standards, the standard staple that is. But I just don't think it's that powerful in Cube, so I'm not as inclined to take it. uh, Graveborn Muse is definitely worth considering because it is drawing you a card, and that's what I think I pick. Flicker Wisp is good, but it requires double white, and I'm not sure we're there yet. Stunted Growth I don't like because they have to actually have 3 cards in hand, and it doesn't time walk them quite as well as Plow Under does. Now this pick is interesting. I would probably go for the Mind Stone, which I think is what I take, and just try to get some ramp into it. Yep, because we were trying to edge our way towards the ramp deck. It's a little unfortunate that we decided so late to go into the ramp because we missed some reasonably good ramp cards. We missed a Mana Elf earlier, which is unfortunate. However, we're still looking reasonably good. We have 2 good removal spells, something we're ramping to, and a tutor, and a ramp. So it's not the worst of situations right now. Do. I hate it when packs take forever to load. Oh my goodness. Okay, there you go. Now this unfortunately is pretty much a blank for us. There's nothing really that we want. Tangle Wire is really for control, and so is Shadow Mage Infiltrator, and it's not really where we want to be. I personally don't like Bane of the Living, especially because it's, I believe, all creatures, I think. So it's going to kill your mana dorks more likely than anything else. I've never actually seen Tainted Pact before, and I don't think it's that good. Exile the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand unless it has the same name as another card revealed that way. I don't even know if that's good or not. So when in doubt, take removal. Ratchet Bomb will be finding us a control. And here we get a really good gift. Deranged Hermit is just insane. It's really good. It's like 9 power for 5 mana. Abrupt Decay is just a cheap removal spell that we're picking up. Unfortunately, it can't hit bigger things, but it does deal with a lot of small, annoying permanents. I always hate it when last picks take so long. It's like, how much thought do you really have to put into it? Not gonna see any of these cards again. Oh well. So we definitely picked up a gift in that Deranged Tournament. It really gives our deck the ability to ramp into the late game because say we just ramp once and then we cast this on turn 4, it gives us enough ground power to get into the late game where we can cast Avenger of Zendikar because we don't really have much ramp at this point. That's definitely what we're looking to pick up in pack 2. Maybe one or so more big spells that we want to ramp into, and definitely more ramp because we only have one ramp spell right now, which is Mind Stone, and that's not even that great of ramp. I really should have paused and there we go. So here's pretty obvious, I think. Martial Coup is just, it's a good spell. It gives us a lot of dudes. It gives us a board wipe in case we're very far behind. It is double white, and we haven't picked up any fixing yet. However, with Cube, we haven't seen any of the mana fixing for our colors. We saw like a Breeding Pool and a Yavimaya Coast and a Windswept Heath, I believe, but those aren't in our colors, so we know that we're reasonably sure that hasn't been there. Now I actually wish I picked up Genesis Wave because it's just such a good card when you do ramp. However, I didn't think I would be able to get enough ramp to make it worth playing, or enough big crest spells, so I pick up Ravenous Baboons because it's a good card. Here, Court of Calling just gives us more redundancy, so we can actually find our bombs. So that's a reasonable pack. We have 2 tutors for what we need. 1 big spell out of Avenger Zendikar. Here, just a Pithing Needle for the board. I didn't see any reason to pick up the Storm card. And Pithing Needle's definitely an answer for walkers, because our deck may have some trouble depending on the certain planeswalker that's cast. Alright, second pack. There's some good stuff. Umezawa's Jite is very good. Dark Confidant is very good. Bloodbraid Elf is very good, but we don't really want to splash red. However, I think Grim Monolith is just what we're going to go here. I know some of you are probably like, you're not taking the JIT, but Grim Monolith's a ramp spell. Not only that, it's a very good ramp spell, and Dark Confidant, since we're ramp, we're just going to take so much damage from it if we're not careful. So here we see the Isolated Chapel. But I think we just pick up the birds here because we really need mana fixing and mana ramp. And Birds of Paradise is everything you can ask for out of it. Although Isolated Chapel is something we hope to wheel so we can get our fixing going. And then here, it's pretty hard to pass a Gaia's Cradle, but I think we take an Oblivion? No, I think we take Cradle. Well, we'll find out. Cradle is just so powerful, especially with Avenger and Deranged Hermit. That gives you access to tons of mana. There's no way I could pass it up. So, we got a bit more of ramp now. And Gaia's Cradle almost always taps for double. So there's a filter land here which we want reasonably bad. However, there is a Yavimaya Elder, and I value Yavimaya Elder pretty highly. I mean, it's just value. You get 2 lands and get to draw a card most of the time. It can trade with their early plays if that's what you need. It soaks up some damage because you block and sack it, so it's just very versatile. Here I think Mirror Entity is the pick. Yeah, we just need a mana sink because after we drop our huge fatty, we're gonna need something to do with our excess mana that we have. And Mirror Entity just goes so well with like Deranged Hermit and Avenger because you make all these 1/1s or 0/1s, and then you pump all your mana into it, and you have like 48 power on the board. It's pretty hard to beat that. So our deck is reasonably taking shape. It's not anything special, and it's not terrible. We did pick up some good ramp, which is nice, and we did get a mirror entity, which gives us pretty good late game. Here, there's not really anything great for us. Gaddock Teague is an option, however, I just think it'll be really hard to cast because we're very much green-black at this point. So Golgari Rot Farm's really where we want to be. It's mana fixing. It kind of ramps us because it taps for 2. Here, it's not. Once again, it's kind of a blank. I mean, I could see an argument maybe for a Chroma, but Savannah is just mana fixing that's free basically. So you gotta take that when you see them. Here, not so good. Pretty much a blank. We don't really want to be playing Black Sun in our deck because we have a bunch of X1s, but we take it here just to prevent someone else from getting it because it really wrecks our strategy. Because when we tap for 7, it's going to be very sad. So Dark Confidant is still in the pack, which is crazy. That's just stupid. Dark Confidant should never table. However, we do pick up Winter Orb because we can drop our fatty and then cast that, and then they hopefully won't be able to respond, and they only get to untap like 1 or 2 permanents. Chainer's Edict, just a good removal spell. You get 2 of them. Here we actually get the Pain Land that we want. Pain Land's where you have to pay for the mana, it's the old ones. So we actually get the right color to help us with our splash. So that was pretty good. We picked up 3 dual lands that we wanted, so that's pretty good. Plus our fixing, especially with like Birds of Paradise. And then we pick up another one. That's the green white filter land. We pick up a Shade here. It's not very good in this deck because we just don't have that many black sources. Take a Persecute because